Eric, can you go back to the first time where you had the first contact with football?
Yeah, wow, goes back a while, but it had to be when my dad and my grandpa kind of got me involved in the game. My mom being from Venezuela, soccer has been a huge part of my life and our culture in Venezuela, and so my grandpa really kind of engraved it in me. And following that, my dad was a soccer player as well, so. I think I began playing when I was around maybe 4 or 5 years old, just having a soccer ball in the backyard, not really having a true end goal, but just kind of enjoying getting introduced to the game. And ever since that, I've grown to love and to have a great passion for the game.
Nice. What would you say, like, at which time it starts for you also competitive football?
Yeah, good question. I think that'd probably be when I joined a club team, a competitive club team around 11 or 12 years old. That's when
Mm,
we begin to have actual tryouts, when there's actual coaches there evaluating our game, seeing if we would be called up to the first team or second team. And again, yeah, that was when I was 11, 12 years old, beginning to go into competitive soccer.
mm. And what would you say, like, you grow up in the US and your mom is from Venezuela, like these both combination, which kind of experience you had also going through like different, yeah, let's say different traditions also. How was it for you growing up?
Yeah, I mean, for me, for my game in Venezuela, it was never competitive. It was never anything like that. It was more pick up soccer on the street, playing with my cousins in the backyard, just doing whatever. It was never like organized play, anything like that. It was purely just having fun, kicking around with my cousins, family, friends, whoever we had there to play. So going from that to a more structured environment with club competitive play. It took me a little bit to feel organized, or if you will, with that type of play because I come from playing just for fun and stuff like that, and now it's here. You need to play to impress. You need to impress the coaches. You need to show them your qualities to hopefully make the team. And thankfully for my skill level, I was able to impress the coaches and make the certain team that I wanted to make. But I think it just took a little bit more of focus and um, I guess organization, if you will, just to realize that soccer is now something that can push myself to another level. It's not just family and friends and having fun in the backyard. Now I'm joining a team, I'm joining a club, I'm joining an organization that wants to grow, and how can I be a player that kind of fits into that organization to help that club grow,
Mm,
a little different.
amazing. What would you say, like, how important was during this time to establish a good discipline?
I think at the time I didn't realize that I needed as much discipline as I can see it now. But back then, I mean, we were training multiple times a week without me realizing the discipline that I needed. It was more my family and friends that were bringing me to soccer practice on time, making sure that I was there for soccer practice every week. They were kind of instilling that discipline in me, that you need to be on time, you need to show up to practice every day, you need to work hard, you need to have your water bottle to stay hydrated and take care of your body. I think that's what taught me now a little bit about discipline. But back then, I think I was just a kid playing soccer and hopefully making it to the team that all my other friends were playing with.
Mm. Yeah, that sounds like that family and like your close environment was like very important in your growing up. Was there any specific person you would say, okay, this person taught me a lot during this time?
Yeah, I think if it wasn't my grandpa, it had to be my dad. I mean, not instilling so much soccer, but just to show up and give my best every day, whether it be soccer, whether it be in school, whether it be at work. I think he put a good lesson in my head when I was young that whatever you do, you need to just do it and be the best at it, whether it be, like I said, soccer, studies, or anything like that. So growing up, every time he would drop me off at practice, he'd just say, "Have a good practice, but make sure you have fun." So to make sure that yeah, there's work to be done, but at the end of the day, this is still just a game. So have fun, but be the best that you can.
Mm. That's very valuable, having like this kind of environment where you are like pushed, but also don't forget the fun part.
Yeah, exactly.
When was it for you, like where you understood, okay, now is the moment I saw the game different? Like, where do you understand, like, okay, discipline, I want to go in and I want to do my preps by my own?
Yeah, I think it was when kind of my later years of club soccer going into high school because high school was a whole nother level. For me, it was a big jump in skill level, both tactically and technically. There was a bunch of skilled players. Obviously, going into high school fresh as a freshman, you wanna impress the coaches, hopefully make varsity your first year if you can. And so I think that's when I kind of said to myself, wow, like there's a bunch of good players here. If I wanna compete with these players and be at the highest level that I want to be, I need to start doing work on my own. So there's days where we would finish practice and I would stay a couple hours later just to get some extra touches with the ball with my friends and to see if I could grow any further like that. Or on days that we didn't have practice and I would be going to the field, just getting some extra reps in and stuff like that. Uh, Definitely high school was the turning point that it was like if I really want to make a name for myself in this sport, then I need to take it upon myself to do those extra reps and to progress myself that no one's coming here to do it for me, so I'm gonna have to do it myself, you know.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think like young players, if they listen to this message that like no one is going come to do it for myself, I have to do it. That's powerful. What would you say like you're in Spain? At which time did you transition to Spain, and how does it come? And how, looking back, what was missing also in the US?
Well, my journey to Spain was a little unique. I originally came for an internship and a sport management internship at that, and it kind of grew into me staying and playing soccer. So the jump was a little scary, not gonna lie, moving to a new country, new language, new people, you don't really know the culture, anything like that, to just come play a sport that you've played your entire life. But then you realize that that sport and everything that carries with it is so different.
Mm,
So my first time here as an intern, I was pretty lost. I really didn't know what I was doing, and then to have that sense of community or family within the soccer pitch with your teammates and your coach and your sporting director and all that, that kind of made the transition a lot easier because although so many things are different outside of soccer, within soccer, it's still just a field, it's still just teammates, it's still just a soccer ball. So although the transition was a little tough, just realizing at the end of the game, at the end of the day, that it's just a game, you
Mm,
know, that everyone's here just to have fun. And maybe I think what's different from the US to here is that everyone takes it a little bit more serious here. And here it's not just a game at points. It's a way of life and a way of being. And so learning a little bit about that kind of taught me that just just got to stay true to what I believed in as a soccer player and to move day by day.
mm. Like as you experienced one like the US coaches system, also the soccer system, and now also the Spain soccer system, what would you say like which kind of things US can learn and which kind of things Spain can learn from the US?
Yeah, I think the big difference is style of play. In the US, there's a lot of talented players, but I feel like in the US it was more about kick and run, kind of try to find goal as fast as we can, stuff like that. Here in Spain, it's been a lot more of conservative, keep possession, no need to force to goal right away. So I think if there's anything that I could recommend for both of them is to take in both styles of play, learn from each other, and go from there. Because I don't think there's a correct answer on how to play soccer, but
Mm.
I think there is a way to adapt the game in a way to make both sides better. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, yeah. And what would you say, like personally, when you moved to Spain, in which terms, like what I hear often is like that in the US, there's a lot of focus also on the strength and like the physicality. And did you saw it also, okay, I have an edge in my strength?
Um, that's a good question because when I was playing college soccer in the United States, it was really focused on strength, and we were hitting the gym probably 3 or 4 times a week, making sure that our bodies were strong for other competition and stuff like that. And when I came to Spain, it was more focusing on technical ability, the speed of play, not rushing things, being kind of calm on the ball, and it never really focused too much on strength. And so I think the transition was a little interesting, but to say the least, I think to be able to learn more about technically and how to maintain the ball um, kind of overpowers the idea of the United States that you need to be strong, you need to be fast, you need to be all these types of things to fight off the opponent. But here it's more how smart are you on the ball, how technical you are, and stuff like that. So I think that for me is the main difference.
Mm. And how would you describe your playing style?
I think my play style adapts very well to the Spanish play style. I wouldn't say I'm the strongest or the fastest at it in any way, but I do think I've had a lot of experience with the game and I've learned a lot from others and have a good soccer IQ and have a good awareness of space and stuff like that. So I think I adapt well to the soccer ideology, idea of soccer because it's more slow pace, keep possession, no need to rush things. So for me as a player, I think I adapt much better to the Spanish play style. And yeah, I think I'm more slow on the ball, but it's more about taking my time, creating the best chances that I can, not forcing anything that doesn't need to be forced, and to kind of let the ball do all the work instead of the player.
Mm, interesting. You mentioned right now that you learned a lot from others. How would you like say how important is also to seeing others and learning from others?
I think it's really important. I think for me, when I was going through college, I was a little frustrated because I came in as a freshman thinking that I was gonna compete and be in the starting 11, getting all the stats and stuff like that. And then first game come around and I get put on the bench. Second game come around, I get put on the bench. Throughout the whole season, I get limited minutes. And for my first season, I mean, I got pretty frustrated having to watch all the other players progress and to actually do what I wanted to do. But then I think it lit a light bulb in my head. Maybe this is something good for me that I get to learn from these players that are more experienced than I am and to see the things that they do differently that makes them be in the starting 11, that makes them get all these minutes, that makes them get all these goals and stats. So, although at the beginning it was a little frustrating for me, it kind of taught me that it's okay to kind of sit back and listen and to see what other players are doing to one day hopefully be at that level.
Mm. Like, and as you mentioned, like it's very frustrating. There's playing the mental part is playing a big role. Was it also like for you the first time where you understood, okay, now is my head is talking to me, like, and not the playing?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was super frustrating coming off a great high school season to starting every game in high school, being a captain of my high school team, to coming to a university and not being a captain, not getting a lot of play time, not getting that feeling of involvement on the field like I used to, it really did touch my mental state. It made me think if maybe I'm not good enough, is it something that I'm doing off the pitch that isn't letting me grow as a player? Is there something that I did personally for the coach? And I think, yeah, that first year I struggled a lot realizing what I was as a player, if I was even good enough to be on the team that I was. And I think it just, it really helped me grow into the player I am now because it gave me that time to evaluate others, learn that if I want to get somewhere, it's not going to be immediate, that there's a learning process to everything and just to be patient because as much as I wanted everything in that one moment in that first season, it it might have just not been my time. And I had things that I needed to learn, things that I needed to improve on that I didn't see at the beginning. But after being able to have that time to reflect and to see it more externally, it gave me that opportunity to just to realize that, like I said, not everything happens for you right away, that there's a process to things. So it taught me to be patient and to kind of sit back and listen and watch others as they progress.
Mm. That's very interesting to listen. And what I hear like very fascinating is like that from the frustration point, you come to the point where you say, I have to learn more and I have to change something inside me, not outside me. And how did you develop your mentality during this part? Because it's quite difficult to understand, okay, maybe I have to watch inside me and it's good for me to growing. Did you had some mentally tools where you worked on, or was somebody helping you with the process?
Yeah, I think for that, I mean, all credit to my college coaches. They were great to me and great to the team. Like I said, they weren't playing me as much as I wanted, but every day after practice, I would come up to them and ask them for any tips or advice. They would offer trainings on the side. They would also offer video analysis. So I think the video analysis was one of the biggest pieces that made me realize the little flaws in my game compared to other players because they would, for example, pick a clip of me and maybe pick a clip of one of the starting 11 and just show the differences or show where I can improve on. And that kind of made me realize that, wow, there is things I can improve on. Kind of going to college, not to say that I had a big head, but I kind of went into college thinking that it was just going to be like my high school season. I was going to go into it as the captain of the team, the starting player, and stuff like that. And when it doesn't go your way, you kind of lose. I don't know if it's motivation, but you kind of lose that fire. You're like, oh, maybe I'm not good enough, and you start thinking in your head. But I think what helped me in those moments were the coaches showing me that, hey, you are good enough, but you just need to keep improving on these little things to get you to where we think you can be. And so I think it was really due to the coaches believing in me, um, not giving me everything at the beginning, because I feel like if they were to give me everything, I would have, my ego would have been to the ceiling and I would have thought that I'm the best player ever and I don't have anything to work on. And I feel like that's not the case for anyone. I feel like everyone is a student of life, of soccer, and there's always things that we can improve on. And if it wasn't for them, I think I wouldn't be in the position that I am today.
Mm, yeah, powerful. Which kind of advice would you give, let's say, a young player who's right now facing the same struggles, but he has not the same good environment you had back then? Which kind of things he could do to prevent, let's say, the frustration, big frustration part?
I think just taking it day by day. I think a lot of the players think that everything has to happen so immediate nowadays. I feel like now with social media and AI and all this type of stuff, we all want answers right away and we want to have success right away. And I think if I could give any recommendation to any players going through this development and they don't have the environment that I had, is just to be patient. It's there's going to be a day for you guys to prove yourself. It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, it may not be in a month or even a year, but there will be a moment. And if you just take it day by day and take it as serious as you can, that there will be a day that you need to prove yourself. And if you haven't been consistent with your work through the good and the bad days, then that day that is kind of your test day is going to come. And if you're not ready for it, hopefully there's another one. Um, but you just got to stay consistent with yourself through through the good and the bad.
Mm, that's a powerful message. It reminds me, like, I talked with my friend Rodrigo, and he was saying that, like, you have two choices. One is to trust, and one is to not to trust. And he's like, yeah, you have to decide. The one you choose the trust, then you have to be patient with day by day and doing all the things you need. And one time, maybe your moment will come.
Yeah, absolutely. I think those are wise words because we never know when the opportunity is going to come, and one day it might take us by surprise. But if we're not ready for it, um, then we might miss that chance.
Mm. Let's go big to the moment right now in Spain. How is your football growing in Spain, and how which kind of challenges you face here and overcome them?
Yeah, I think one of my biggest challenges here is feeling feeling comfortable. I think, I mean, just moving to a different country, moving to a new culture, stuff like that, it's really uncomfortable. You don't feel at home. You miss your home. You miss your parents, your friends, your loved ones, stuff like that, your routine. And now you come here and it's just everything is different. The food is different, the language is different, the culture is different, everything is different. And now it's like a test on how well you can adapt to everything being uncomfortable and how you can be comfortable being uncomfortable, And I think that's just the biggest thing. trying to find your comfort in everything that feels new and uncomfortable. Because when I came here, there was a lot of uncertainties on whether I'll make the team, whether I'll remain here for a prolonged time, how I'm going to be making money, how I'm going to be feeding myself every day, where I'm going to be living, friends that I'm going to be making, stuff like that. So for me, it was a lot of uncertainties, but like you said, kind of that trust that if you put in the work, if you put in the time, that things will work out. And over the span that I've been here, of course, I'm not saying I'm anywhere close to perfect, but I've definitely learned a lot about myself and a lot about how to be that person for myself. And I still have a long ways to go. But I'm slowly kind of finding that comfort in in the discomfort that playing in a different country kind of brings to you.
Mm. You mentioned right now, like you learned a lot of about yourself and you're also on the way. Can you give us a bit insight of which kind of big things you learned about yourself?
Yeah, I think as much as I came here for soccer, I learned more about myself outside of the pitch than I did in the pitch. I mean, I've played soccer all my life. I know how to pass a ball. I know how to shoot a ball. I know how to dribble. I know how to play with the team. But it's the little things that I learned outside of the pitch, like how to be patient with myself, how to take care of my body, how to adapt to the play style of that they want to play, adapt to the culture that they have here. And I think the biggest thing that it's been teaching me is discipline and patience. Um,
Mm,
it's not going to be easy from the start, and like I said, no one's coming here to do it for me. This is my journey, and if I want to make the most out of it, I need to make the most out of it. No one's gonna give me all the right answers. No one's gonna give me the golden path to where I want to go. And for me, it's been more about the journey than the destination. It's I've been growing more as a player, knowing that I've gotten to go through this process of living abroad and living in a different country than the destination of hopefully one day becoming pro.